Hi guys, today we'll be painting some candies for Easter in about 20 minutes. That's the time limit I set myself. I start by just blocking in some general shapes, and the key here for me is to simplify as much as possible because of this time limit we've got. Because actually this is my break time. So I don't have too much time. Just getting some rough shapes in there. It doesn't need to all be perfect. And we have these two gummies of bunnies and a candy, I think, which is a bit harder, of a carrot. Be a bit more rounded. Now we have here our carrot, roughly. By no means a detailed sketch, just some rough indications. I'm just playing around with that shadow also a bit. I don't want to have it too stretched, as you see on the picture. I just want to get these essences down. That's as far as I'll take my initial sketch. And as I'm painting quite small here, I'll just use a quite small flat brush. I always like to use flat brushes. And for colors, I have 4 colors on here. We have phthalo green, permanent yellow, pyrrole red, and titanium white. And we might want to add a touch of black as well, just for the shadow areas, for example, or to darken the greens whenever we want to. Now let's start by mixing a base color for the bunnies. And I'm using the yellow to lighten it a bit, as you can tell. Normally I pre-mix my colors, but now I'm just gonna do it like this, blocking in the shapes with some circular motions. And then here's an ear, and here's an ear. Very thin, because we can always go over it later on again with thicker paint. Here an ear. Here it will be quite dark, so I will darken this later on. And I'm not going to get caught up in all those little details I see in these bunny faces. I really want to keep it simple. And the time limit kind of forces me to that. Now I'm adding more yellow to this mixture for some of the brighter areas. For example, here. And let's try to get just this essence of the gummy material. I think that would be my target for this painting. And what makes the essence of gummy? Well, if you ask me, it's the little details in the shadow, in the cast shadows, that you see this reflection of color. That would be for me a key point, and the fact that you have the light kind of passing through the gummies. Let's see how this green out of the tube works for the darker parts. Well, that will do quite nicely, actually, I must say. And the other gummy is not that dark, so I'm not using it on the other one. Now for the carrot, let's see if we can make a bit of an orange here. Also just blocking in random, well not random, but rough shapes. And I'm using quite standard pigments for this. I always do love to use more the cadmium colors for yellows and reds because they're more intense and also very friendly for mixing. But for this short demonstration practice, I'm not gonna do that. That's the tip of the carrot. I also see some oranges in there. And let's see if we can get that very bright green as well. For that I'm adding some white because the phthalo green, if you add white, you get this beautiful turquoise color, which is very bright, as you can see. I'm also adding some yellow to that mixture. I think this might be good for the parts where the light really hits through. I do think I already need to switch to a smaller brush actually. So that's what we'll do. Taking a smaller brush, it's easier when working with these smaller paintings. But those smaller brushes, they don't really allow for easy color mixing. So I'm using my palette knife for that. See if we add some more white. Could be nice for on the shadow part. Shadow part actually I might still do with my bigger brush, and for that I'm taking some black and some of the green and adding a touch of water to that because I'm using water solvable oil paint. You don't need turpentines or any other chemical paint in there. You can just use your water for that. And I like phthalo green a lot. It's a very nice color. It's not too dominant, and it really allows you to mix very nice colors also. I think by using this also here in the shadow mixture, we keep a nice harmony. We can connect some of the colors with each other. And again, by no means this will be, oh sorry for that, by no means this will be a finished painting. It's just practice to show that even if you don't have a lot of time, you can still paint. Like I do now in my lunch break. Trying to get that brown shape here a bit in. Get one of my smaller brush. Almost forgot. try to get some of these shapes in because time is flying. Let's do these ears a bit. Quite crucial to get a convincing bunny. Here, trying to round up that shape also a bit. These ears are touching each other here in the middle. And then it goes down here a bit. The same color we might be able to reuse a bit on this ear as well. You can see that this top gummy has some different color tones to it. Just see where this matches. Again, I'm simplifying the shapes as much as I can. Now I'm putting that phthalo green purely and a bit more thickly on there. Because there's a very dark shapes I see. But it's not too strong, it's still quite soft edgewise. I'm also kind of blending these edges a bit where I can. Now here we can reuse this slightly lighter green. Now I'm realizing that my camera is not positioned in the most ideal situation for painting this, because I'm kind of leaning on it. I want a bit more dark on this one as well. This is also where we can, you know, exaggerate what we see a bit. I'm making it a bit more dramatic by having a bit more darker colors to it than what we actually see on the reference. But if that helps you making a more convincing picture, then why wouldn't you do so? After all, it's your work. And by working a bit more with contrast, you can also create more depth. Let's start with some of those lighter colors. And actually, for the lightest parts, I might just go for the pure yellow, like here. And here's also a bit lighter, huh? So just adding some yellow, letting it blend a bit. See what this does. Ah, that works also. Slightly white green. Especially around these edges, I see the whites. Or not really the whites, but the lighter parts. And what I always like, as I mentioned, is how they reflect in the shadows. So that's what I'm trying to achieve here. Maybe some yellow. Get that glowy effect. This big one also needs a shadow, but I'm adding a touch of red to that mixture as well. And you get a bit more, slightly bit of water, just to make it flow a bit more smooth. Also simplifying my shadows here, because I'm also simplifying the shape of this carrot. And of course you see it's a very shiny material, so we have also some highlights. Let's see if we can just dapple them on. Sometimes you need to do it a few times because it mixes sometimes a bit. The thicker you do, the more pure it stays. Now, I will take some cadmium red actually, or cadmium yellow. Oh, those few minutes we have left, it's really not a lot left. Oh, we can make a more vibrant highlights with that. A lot of yellow, a little bit of green goes a long way. Again, exaggerating shapes here and there. Adding more color than I actually see. For the brightest parts, just some pure cad yellow. Again, these are not the exact colors as you see them in your reference, but you should not be a slave of your reference. Because what you want to achieve is a convincing picture, convincing representation of what you're seeing. And in this case, these are gummies. where the light shines through. Just making this edge a little bit more soft. We can add a touch here also. And then I know I'm in my reserve time here, but I'm just gonna add a slight darker side here for more 3D effect on that carrot. There we go. This is as far as time allows me to take it today. Thanks for watching.